A missile with a warhead is one of the most terrifying inventions of mankind. And the only counteraction to them is the same missiles. A remarkable air battle took place on the evening of April 12th when Israel was shelled from Lebanon. The video from the scene shows several Iron Dome interceptor missiles firing at enemy missiles. Earlier, sirens were also heard in other cities, which could indicate that drones had penetrated deeper into the country. So far, there have been no reports of damage or injuries, as the Israeli Defense Forces later reported about 40 launches from Lebanese territory were recorded in northern Israel, some of which were intercepted. The rest fell in the field. The Hezbollah group claimed responsibility for the missile attack on the Galilee Peninsula. In its statement, the Lebanese group claims to have fired dozens of Katyusha missiles at IDF artillery positions in northern Israel. But not only the Katyusha missiles and Iron Dome are involved in duels in the sky, missiles and UAVs are becoming the main means of destruction in all developed armies of the world. So we can't ignore the topic of missile weapons. Make yourself comfortable, we're about to begin. A few days ago, Lockheed Martin unveiled a new Mako hypersonic missile for fighter jets. The development of the new missile should completely change the capabilities of U.S. and NATO fighter and bomber aircraft, as it's capable of hitting both surface and ground targets with equal effectiveness. Its hypersonic speed will make Mako a difficult target for enemy air defense systems and manned portable air defense systems. The missile is primarily being developed for use with F-35 fighters, but will eventually be available for integration into other American and European fighters. The Lockheed Martin representatives did not disclose any information about the engine and guidance system of the new missile. The only useful information was the published speed of the missile, which is more than 5 Mach. In contrast, the world is well aware of the next missile, although a full-fledged replacement is almost ready for it that surpasses all indicators. The legendary nature of this one obliges us to know its history. The AIM-120 AMRAAM is a medium-range guided missile. The history of AMRAAM development began in the mid-1970s when the U.S. military concluded that it was necessary to develop a new missile with a semi-active radar homing head. Unlike its predecessor, the AMRAAM is faster, smaller, and lighter, with better capabilities against low-altitude targets and simpler control systems.
Now, of course, fire control systems are rather complicated and they're rather expensive, and consequently, a great premium was placed by Dr. McLean on keeping the fire control system in the rocket very simple and very inexpensive.
It's made according to the classical aerodynamic scheme with an X arrangement of wing and rudder consoles. The body of the missile is divided into 3 compartments: the main body, the warhead, and the tail. The body has a special coating that can withstand high heat.
Simple missile to employ. It's straightforward in its design. Its complexity is certainly increased as it's evolved over the years, but it was designed to be an easy missile to shoot, a reliable missile to get a good kill, and one that you didn't have to think a lot about or really work hard to sweeten up your shot.
The AMRAAM is the main weapon of all types of modern fighters of the U.S. Armed Forces, from Harrier II to F-22. The AIM-120 is also in service with fighters from NATO and other U.S. allies. The first combat use of the AIM-120 took place in December 1992, when an American F-16 fighter shot down an Iraqi Air Force MiG-25 over the territory of southern Iraq. In general, the international arena has confirmed the use of AMRAAM missiles in a number of confrontations in which they've helped to achieve 16 victories in Iraq, Bosnia, Kosovo, India, and Syria. In addition, these missiles are produced not only for installation on fighter jets, but also for ground-based systems, including one of the best air defense systems, NASAMS, which is used to defend the White House, and more recently to protect the skies of Ukraine. In combination with this system, AIM-120 munitions can shoot down Russian cruise missiles. At the same time, the developers managed to implement a technology in this weapon that allows air defense units to use the same missile in any position without additional modernization. But soon a new missile will appear that the world has never seen before. The U.S. Air Force initiates production of the secret AIM-260 JATM missile for the F-22 and the 6th generation fighter jet. The AIM-120 missiles have a number of disadvantages, such as limited fuel supply, vulnerability to interference and interception, and low effectiveness against maneuverable targets. Therefore, the new missile will take this into account and will also be used for drone attacks. As the range of air combat continues to grow, the United States needs new long-range weapons to stay competitive. But the AIM-260 does not seek to compete, it seeks to dominate. The maximum range of the AIM-260 will be 125 miles. In addition to the F-22 Raptor, the missile will be carried by two more fighters, F-35 Lightning II and F/A-18EF Super Hornet.
We go through a lot of tests to make sure everything's working well.
The AIM-260 JATM will receive a multi-role homing head capable of operating in infrared and radar, which will provide increased resistance to electronic warfare. Other details of the development are not disclosed as the missile's very secret. However, this is not the first time we've had to wait for declassification of developments, and we hope it'll be worth it. For example, it'll be able to compete with its main rival, the Chinese PL-15. China has made a step forward in the development of its own missiles, which resulted in the creation of the PL-15, which is not inferior to the characteristics of the AIM-120D. This missile uses a twin-pulse rocket engine, which helps to increase its range to 125 miles. The two-way communication channel provides the missile and the carrier aircraft with updated guidance data, and the warhead uses active electronically scanned array technology, which has better resistance to countermeasures. In response to the PL-15, the United States launched a program to improve the AIM-120D, creating a temporary weapon until the new AIM-260 enters service. The AIM-260 program itself was also largely a response to Chinese developments. However, China's not standing still and has already begun to develop a new missile. The PL-17 first appeared publicly in a 2016 image showing a very large missile being carried by a Shenyang J-16 Flanker N. The images of J-16 and PL-17 also appeared on social media in December 2023. The body of the missile was painted blue, indicating that it was a training or ground-based missile. However, its appearance indicates that the missile is being commissioned. China has not released details of the design or the developer company. However, the PL-17 may well have active and passive radar guidance and may combine the use of a passive sensor with receiving updates on the location of the target from onboard sensors for most of the flight time of the missile, which makes target recognition more difficult. However, no matter what warheads we talk about, the main ones are those that carry nuclear warheads.
When you're dealing with nuclear weapons, you must be perfect.
This impeccability is the work of the United States. The LGM-30G Minuteman III is the only land-based intercontinental ballistic missile in the United States. The solid propellant three-stage missile has a launch weight of 36 tons and a launch range of up to 8,700 miles. Each missile has one warhead that can be equipped with a 350 kiloton W-78 warhead or a 450 kiloton W-87 warhead. The accuracy of block guidance is rated at 800 feet. In total, the United States declares 400 such missiles. This missile has been in service since 1970, although it's constantly being modernized. The LGM-35 Sentinel is being developed to replace it, with testing scheduled to begin in 2030. According to most experts, the Minuteman III is outdated, but it's still the best strategic missile, which doesn't even need to be used to be effective. Anyone who wants to check its effectiveness will have a hard time, and hopefully the status quo will remain at least for the next few years. Don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel, as we have many more topics to come. See you soon.